Hey guys, if you have problems receiving child tax credit refund, well, guess what? In this video, we're going to show you what to do if you're having problems, you haven't received it, and so you can pretty much receive your credit, right? So if you please subscribe, hit the like button, stay tuned to my video. Watch it on TikTok. Make sure you watch it on YouTube so you can watch full videos and full details. But right here we have another article, 100% real. It says problems with your child tax credit payment. Here's what to do. Okay, child tax credit has been going on for since July. They passed a bill. President Biden said, you know what, people need help. Child tax credit you receive at the end of the year. Now we're gonna boost it up more money. And you can receive it in payments throughout the year, right? And you're gonna say monthly payments of $300. But guess what? If you still want to receive it, yesterday was the last day to apply. But don't worry, next year you can receive the full money that you missed out on this year. But if you have problems receiving your payment after you applied, this is what you have to do. Okay, again, most kids, most families are receiving about $3,600 per child if they're under 6 years old, and about $3,000 if they're between 6 to 17 years old. Okay, a lot of money. You can receive it ahead of time, but if not, if you missed the deadline to actually apply so you can receive it, which was yesterday, November 15th, then you can receive it next year. Okay, but if you have problems, we're gonna explain to you what you could do, right? So I already explained it. You can receive it in paper checks in the mail. So if you actually applied and you haven't received it yet, depending if you what we do with taxes, if you actually submitted your direct deposit, they're gonna automatically deposit it to your direct deposit account in your bank account. But if not, they're gonna send you a paper check, right? Which is gonna send it to your mail, and it's gonna take time, a little bit longer, but it's gonna send it, right? So a couple of problems, as we see right here, is that depending on the mail carrier, USPS, they take their time. Right now, a lot of people are not working. There's a pandemic. There's a lot of delays. A lot of people shipping. Shipping containers are overwhelmed at the ports. So all this backlog is actually delaying the process of getting your check mailed to your house, right? So it could be just USPS mail slowdowns. It could be this whole thing that I just explained. It could be that you didn't put your correct address, so they didn't actually deliver it to your house. They put it delivered to somewhere else. You have to call again so they could re-deliver it. It could be other things that you didn't put your deposit properly. Other things again that your bank account, there's an issue with your bank account and they didn't accept it, such as mine bank account wasn't accepting no more payments, no more credits, because I need to verify my business documents, right? That could be your issue. It could be something else. So you make sure you check everything's correct, our information is correct. And if you probably moved different places and you haven't received it, you don't know how to change it, well, we're going to show you how in this video again, right? Now, reasons why it's not easy to get in touch with the IRS. You can obviously call them, stay in line. They can call you back, and you can talk to them. You can always check the IRS portal. All right, you can always check when it's if your information is correct. So just click on it, search IRS portal, but make sure you do it before November 29th because that's the last day they actually issue checks, right? So it has to be 3 days before they issue checks, or actually 15 days before they issue checks. And the last one is December 15th, since yesterday already passed. And pretty much that's the only way you could check as of right now, right? Now, if everything is right, we'll show you with guys other ways that you haven't received your check, you haven't received your direct deposit, and what you could do, right? So why you haven't received your child tax credit payment yet? Now, there's a lot of things, a lot of reasons. I just explained to you a couple of reasons, but for now we're gonna give you more reasons, right? If you're married, filing jointly. So if you're both as a couple married and filing the same thing, finding together in your taxes, and only one of your spouse, only one person, mom or dad, recently updated your bank account or address in the IRS portal, you may have not received a September payment. This technical issue should have corrected. Okay, so make sure you correct your taxes, you correct your addresses, and correct everything. Okay. Now, next point is based on the IRS statement, 2% of families due to receive credit, amounting to roughly 700,000 families, did not receive the September 15 payment. Households affected should have received the payments in subsequent weeks, according to the IRS. Okay, so most people, if you received it, now you could be one of those 2%. All right, and it could be one of those people in 700,000 families that didn't receive it. And if it was you, don't worry about it. They'll resend you another one, or they're gonna give you that payment along with the other checks. Okay, so instead of 300, you might get a little bit more, and that's what makes up the September payment. Okay, just because you have one less check doesn't mean you have less money. It could be check the other amount of money in the checks that come in the future or that you received afterwards, and it probably amount to most likely the same. Okay, Another point. Your payment will be sent by mail and is still held by U.S. Postal Office due to a technical issue in August. Okay, millions of families receive their checks by snail mail instead of direct deposit. Okay, again, if you didn't put your direct deposit in your taxes, that means you're gonna receive a paper check. And there's a problem with the USPS carrier post office, and that means there's like right now in August it was an issue, and that delayed deposit getting to your house. Okay, as we know already, there's a lot of things in the ports, so most likely all the shipment is being delayed. Next point is if you have a mixed status household using individual taxpayer identification number, or where one parent is an immigrant and the child has a social security number because of an IRS mishap, those families have not received the first July payment, but should have qualified for just the amounts of in August and September. Okay, so that could be another reason. All right, make sure you have all information proper. But if it is one of an immigrant, then that could possibly delay a payment. Okay. Next point, your family never filed a 2019 or 2020 tax return. So if the IRS doesn't know if you qualify, that's the case, use a non-filing sign-up tool online to register for payments by the extended November 15th deadline. Okay. Now, again, if you never filed, that means you never received it. The last deadline, the last date to actually submit this application was November 15th, which was yesterday. And if you haven't done it, then that means you're not going to receive it. But don't worry, you receive it next year, okay? So all this money, you might even receive $7,200 in total next year, okay? I made a video. Go watch that video. You lived in the U.S. less than half the year in 2019 or 2020, and the IRS doesn't think you qualify, even if you have a primary residence in the United States, okay? So if you only lived right here half a year, that means you probably wouldn't qualify, okay? Other reasons is that if you only lived in the, so you probably wouldn't even qualify. Other reasons could be that you might only live in your address probably half of the year when you're supposed to live more than half of the year. That could also be a delay, a problem, right? The next one is your new baby or adopted dependent became part of your household after you filed a 2020 tax return. If you haven't been able to update those details in the IRS portal yet, the option to add dependents was supposed to be available this fall, okay? So if you actually have a new baby or an adopted baby or a new dependent, obviously this child, so that's to be adopted child, and it became part of your household after you filed a 2020 tax return, you have to update it. If you haven't updated, that means you're not going to receive money for that payment, okay, for that child. Next one is your household circumstances in 2020 disqualified you. Even though your situation has now changed in 2021, this could be the case if your income was previously too high or if there was a shift in your custody agreement, okay? So again, if you have full custody, that means you'll receive full money. If you don't have full custody, that means you won't receive the money, right? It has to be in your taxes under your dependents. And again, if whatever laws were or whatever circumstances there were that disqualified you, that means we weren't able to receive it. But if they change, that means you should be eligible, and obviously you should update your information, right? Next point is you're already unenrolled from this year's advanced monthly payments using the IRS portal. If that's the case, your family will receive the credit when you file your taxes in 2022. The option to enroll was supposed to be made available this fall, but the IRS hasn't allowed it yet, okay? Now again, if you didn't enroll, you decide to unenroll, you're supposed to update it. So in other words, you had a way to apply, and you had a play to say, no, I don't want to receive it monthly. That means you'll receive at the end of the year after you do your taxes as a tax refund, which everybody is supposed to receive it like that, right? If you didn't, don't worry. Next year you might receive both of them in a $7,200 payment. Okay, so hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. As you guys already know, this was a lot of great details. But right here, we're gonna read a little bit more. It says why your child tax payment amount was inaccurate. Okay, now if it's inaccurate, we have another point. It says here's how to check your child tax credit payment status. And we have more. It says what to know if you're ineligible for child tax credit money but still not gotten payment, or do you spend too much money and don't want to get the IRS next spring, right? So if you want to see all those information, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. I'm gonna make a next video about it. Make this video short, so I won't bore you guys. And I hope you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned to my next video. Okay, thanks.